You will be given $10 million in cash if you manage to cross the Pacific Ocean, California, Philippines alive with a regular yacht and 3 months worth of food. Would you take the challenge? How would you do it? Hire someone who knows what they're doing. Yeah, and for the very good salary of 100K. All profit to you as you learn to sail. And live on a boat for a while. Tell you what. I'll pay you 200K. That's the sort of generous person I am. I was thinking you could just give the captain and crew 10%. And that way you get a full crew, not just 1 or 2 people, to make everything much easier. Since I'm basically dead weight and we're doing this basically for entertainment, not out of any dire need, I'm totally okay making sure everyone is well compensated. Also, I read the stipulation to mean the yacht and food are provided. Otherwise that comes out of the budget too. Depending on the boat. A crew as small as 2 or 3 can easily handle it. But that depends on the boat. Of course. Most sailing yachts can be sailed by 1 person. So 1 experienced sailor, with someone to help out occasionally, would be fine. Besides, most open ocean sailing is just setting the sails and autopilot and then leaving the boat to do the work. Mate of mine sailed across the Atlantic. Once he was out 10 miles, the most he had to do was put a reef in the sails. Yeah. The biggest issue singles run into is the limited amount of sleep. Since they have to keep a watch at all times, they're basically awake for however long the passage is, with a few long naps. Perhaps. I'd let the crew sail me across and cook me brunch. Shit. I'd be the cook at that point. Definitely with you on hiring some other people to pilot the boat though. Exactly. 10 million is a lot. You can offer 8 good sailors 250,000 or even more people less money, and I'm sure they would take it. You can even offer up to half of that money upon a completed journey and you'd still be set for a while. But it would use up food. With a good crew and some rationing, you can make it across the ocean with plenty of food to spare. You'd make it across in like a month less depending on the yacht. Don't forget you'd have a trained crew. Just keep someone on fishing duty. With modern food preservation and highly concentrated foods, storing enough food is not a problem. Before, let's say 1900, this would have been a different ball game. It just says with a yacht. Not only with a yacht. I would take the smallest yacht I could find and ship it on a reputable shipping freighter. My guy playing 4D chess and we were all thinking checkers. Edit. Words. He's thinking deckers while we're thinking checkers. He's thinking peckers while we're thinking deckers. He out here decking checkers while we just check in peckers. Get rich quick or die trying. That's basically the fast version of working a 9-to-5 for 40 years. Sign me up. Speed running capitalism. Yacht percent. Sure. I know how to sail and navigate. Sounds fun. I'm with this guy. A Pacific crossing is not a joke. And there would need to be quite a bit of planning. But with modern technology it's not actually that crazy. I grew up in a sailing family though. So maybe less scary for me. Family friend raced a sailboat around the world. Non-stop. By himself. The Pacific is no joke, but he'll pass on the Southern Ocean. Yeah, fuck that place, the Southern Ocean. Spent 2 weeks crossing to Antarctica from Australia and never saw anything less than 30 feet waves. Most of it was 40. Geez, how do you manage to not sink? 400 polar icebreaker. Shaped like a big bathtub. Rides like shit but no real danger of sinking. Unsinkable. Huh. Where have I heard that before? Haha, the funny part is we ran into icebow first on purpose and didn't sink. The Titanic would have been okay too if it had run into the iceberg bow first. It sank because they went full rudder and reversed the screws. So the ship slid sideways and scraped its whole side along the ice. A head-on collision would have just smashed up the bow compartment and the watertight doors could have kept the flooding contained there as designed. It's easy to say 100 years after the fact, but no one says to themselves, I'm going to steer this luxury liner right into that iceberg though. This brand new luxury liner. I definitely wouldn't want to be the guy who has to explain to my boss that the new luxury liner needs a new bow because I steered it into an iceberg. This is literally the life goal that I am working toward and sacrificing for. I've been working for over a decade on acquiring the skills and knowledge I will need. I've got decent sailing and coastal navigation chops. But I've certainly got more to learn there. I definitely need to work on my celestial navigation and boat/systems repair skills. Because things break and you need to be self-reliant. Would I do it now? Before I'm 100% ready? For 10 million? Hell. Yes. I'm just about to start a yacht design degree because it's my goal to design and build a yacht in 10 to 15 years, then sail the Atlantic. And probably island hop around the Pacific for a year or two. I need to learn to sail still, haha, but having worked as a shipwright this last year and the connections I made there and at the college I learned at, it shouldn't be too bad. I'm also moving to a large shipping town which I know for a fact has a lot of the yachting qualifications running most of the year round. There's a degree for that. Good luck. Thanks. And yet, yacht and powercraft design. I decided that I'd rather do that than naval engineering or naval architecture because I'm not interested in big ships. I get a fucking yacht. I glanced over this question and assumed it was a raft or other type of makeshift boat that I had to create. But I get an already made boat that's literally designed for the open sea. And you're going to give me $10 million to chill in my yacht for 3 months with all I really need to do is download some how to sail videos. Or hire a professional crew since you're gonna be making $10 million. Average yacht costs $8 million. You're already rich. Should sell the yacht after the voyage though. $10 million isn't enough to keep an $8 million yacht long term. Or just sell the yacht immediately and pocket $8 million and not take any of the risk. I think I'd do it with the hire a crew approach and sell the yacht later to pocket $17 million. 17.8 and an all-expense paid trans-Pacific voyage with a trained crew sounds dope. I'll bring my dog and some books and games and some decent satellite internet and I'll make it through any storms by relying on the crew. I had a distant relative who tried to do this in a Chinese junk in 1939. Should have been Shanghai, Manila, San Francisco. He and his small crew were heading to the Golden Gate International Exposition. Unfortunately, the boat got damaged in Manila and by the time it got fixed, the Japanese had invaded and they all died in POW camps. None of my family knew what had happened to him, guessed. But not confirmed for about 60 years until my mum and another relative did some digging online. That's some family history. He was a bit of a cad by all accounts. Possibly doing some dodgy deals. Getting screwed over by a Russian expat living in Shanghai. He married her and she ran off with his money. He was lucky to get out of Shanghai just before the Japanese invasion of China. He was born in the town of Laugharne, Wales, where Dylan Thomas is buried. Has relatives in the same graveyard and ran away to sea when he was 14. His dad was a bit of a hard arse. Like most sailors of the 19th century. Are stops allowed? Stopping on an island? No. What about an atoll? No stopping at all. I sell the yacht and food. Then buy a plane ticket. It doesn't say I have to cross the Pacific on that yacht. That or I hire someone who knows how to sail. That's gotta be the best pirate I've ever seen. So it would seem. Do do dun dun do do dun dun do do dun dun do do dun. Do do dun 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 do do dun dun do do dun dun do do da. With those directions, sure. I'd ship myself, my yacht and my supplies on a cargo plane. Be there in a couple of days at the most. For 10 million I'd do it on the door from Titanic. Yeah. I'd hire a person to sail the boat and me across while I just lounge about in my hammock until we arrive. I'd say I'd just keep the yacht and float on down the to be heard from again. Well, for 10 million I'd just hire a fucking navigator and split the profit after we get the money.